Hello, everybody. Hopefully everybody's settling into the class okay. If you guys take a look at the calendars, I believe uh, for this week, you guys should have covered, I think, section 2.2, 2.3. Maybe some of you guys have gotten through 2.4. That's all right. So as long as you started some of the material for this week, that's good. The first couple of things are going to be due this coming week. Okay. So for this video, I wanted to sort of answer some questions that I got from the orientation module. I've already answered them all sort of personally, whoever asked them, but I think it's beneficial for everybody to hear the answers just outright. Okay. So the first question is, are there required Zoom meetings? There are not any required Zoom meetings. I do have some dedicated Zoom time for this class every Tuesday and Thursday from around 8 to 10 in the morning. And you're more than welcome to sign in. I'll be online grading stuff and then prepping for my other courses and sort of double checking your guys' work. Uh, so I'll be online anyway, but you're not required to come to any of the Zoom meetings that we have. Okay. Next question. Do you have to respond to discussion posts? So as you guys have noticed, for the quick checks, um, they're sort of discussion posts, right? The big reason why I have the discussion posts is so that I can separate you guys into groups and have you guys do work for particular groups, and sort of double check your work within your group, rather than just have everybody do all four of those quick check problems at once. Does that make sense? So if you're in a group, right, you've got maybe 7, 8, 9 other people in the group with you, right? And you guys are all working on that one problem, right? Then there's another group that's working on another one that has 6, 7, 8, 9 people, right? And so on and so forth, right? Um, so you can respond to your discussion posts to somebody else's. Like if you do your work and you see a difference in the work, but it's not in somebody, you can go ahead and ask why. Okay, but it's not required. It's not a required portion of the class. Next question. Calculator on tests, in particular Desmos on tests. So if you guys have noticed in a lot of the lecture videos, right, and in a lot of the work that I've been providing, I've been using Desmos to sort of illustrate what's going on with the math, right? And some of you guys have probably maybe purchased the TI-84 or have it laying around somewhere and you've been using it. That's perfectly fine. In terms of calculators on tests, yes, you will be able to use it. Unfortunately, I have no way of safeguarding your test from calculator use. So I'm just going to go ahead and roll with it. I'm going to let you guys use the calculator, and you can use Desmos as well. So next question, lecture questions versus quick checks. What's the difference? So lecture questions, there's a tractor outside. I'm sorry. Lecture questions are sort of, those are the problems that I want you guys to do. Those are the ones that I want you to turn in individually, right? And those are the ones that I'm going to be checking for correctness and completeness. Okay. The quick checks, right? I'm just going to make sure that you do a good faith effort. So the quick checks are sort of to complete our notes online. Okay. And I believe some of you guys maybe have seen this when you click on the online notes, which I'll get to in a second. When you click on the online notes, you actually see people's work, and some of the work is not entirely correct. So I put a little note next to it, say, this is what's wrong with it. It's close, but it's not completely there. Make sure you finish it up. Okay. So it's so that's what the quick checks versus lecture. The quick checks are sort of like sort of more problems, more practice for you to do on paper so that I can see. And then quick checks are sort of like the quick ones. They use usually the information or the examples that are like right above it, to sort of, so you can use that for as a reference to do the quick checks. Makes sense? All right. Recordings for each lecture. Are there recordings for each lecture? There is. Okay. And I'll get into that right now when I go into, I want to sort of show a little bit of a tour for the Canvas page. Okay. So I'll move that to the end. And the next one is comments for each assignment, in particular, the lecture questions. For the lecture questions, those are the individual assignments that you guys are going to have to turn in, right? When you turn them in, you're going to submit them through, using your camera. You're going to take a picture of your work, submit. And then when I look at it, I will go ahead and, write the corrections right there. I'll circle what I think is wrong, circle what you need to look at, and I'll write some stuff out on the side in the comment section, which you can also respond to me if you need to. Okay, cool. All right, so those are the ones those are the questions that I can answer, sort of right off the top of my head. But now I want to sort of go ahead and point out a couple things on Canvas. So let me go ahead, open Canvas here. I should have prepped for this. Bleh. I'm almost there. I swear. I'm going to go see the A's later on today. So if you guys are at the ballpark, hope to see you guys around. All right. Almost there. There we are. All right. So let me go ahead and share my screen so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Let me go ahead and share that screen right there. Boom. All right. So hopefully you guys can see my screen now, and I'm over here in the corner. So this is the home screen, or the home page for our class, right? Okay. So one of the questions that I had was, where can I find the lecture questions, right? That's one. And there are blank versions in the files over here, or if you go, like I said, from the orientation module, right? This is really where most of the course navigation is going to happen, basically. Okay. And so if you look at this little link right here, y squared plus x with the little, right? This is the online notes link. So if you click on this, okay, an online version of the notes will show up. Okay. Hopefully you guys have looked at this already. This is our syllabus for the class, right? Okay. If I have synchronous meetings with anyone and they ask questions, I will, let me move this out of the way. There we go. And we do end up working out a problem, let's say, right? I will go ahead and put them on these, one of these four. So the first one is for chapter 2 material, which has only 3 sections. The next one is for chapter 3 material, which has, I think, 8 or 9 sections, so on and so forth. Okay. So in that way, you can see the work from another student that might be the same as yours. You can go ahead and match that. Okay. So now, in terms of lecture questions, let me go ahead and go to section 2.2. Okay, here are the notes for 2.2. If you click on the little bookie end thingies right here on the top left hand corner of the screen, that's essentially a menu. So it'll just close that away. Okay. So now what I want to do is, first of all, I want to show you guys what I'm doing with the quick checks. Hopefully you guys have seen this already. If you click on the link for the online notes, it'll take you to the online notes, right? And for the quick checks, I am grabbing certain versions of solutions from each group, and I'm posting them into our notes. So for example, let me see if I can scroll here. Yep, I can scroll. So for example, right, these four problems right here are solutions from somebody within your quick check groups. Okay, and I'm doing that for every single quick check. Let me go ahead, go farther down. The next section has graphs. So here are submissions for graphs for the second quick check. Okay. If they are incorrect, that's okay. I will let people know. So for example, the one in the top right corner there, right? I tell everybody, right, that the picture is correct, but the limits are not. So just make sure you know what you're looking for. Okay. So, and that's perfectly fine. Just make sure you can answer questions like that. Okay. I can go ahead and answer questions as well. come to my Zoom hours, come to my office hours. We'll get those hammered out. Okay. Cool. All right. So that is the first thing I want to do about the quick checks. Okay. I usually try to update these at the end of every week. So just make sure that you have them in by that time. Okay. And this is a class concerted effort, right? The more solutions I have from the entire group, right, the better these notes become. Okay. So just make sure that you stay on top of the quick checks. They are not only for your notes, they're for everybody's notes. Okay. And then the next thing I wanted to do is I wanted to show everybody where the recordings are for each section. So if you go to the modules page, whenever it wants to do it, there we go. And I'm going to go ahead and close the introductory module. Come on. Come on. Come on. All right, I guess I'm scrolling. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go to, oh, there it is. I'm going to go ahead and go to module 2, so chapter 2, basically. Whenever it wants to open. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and click on section 2.2 lecture questions. Okay. Right here, there is a video. Okay. And this video is basically me filling out the lecture questions. This is basically the lecture of me filling out the notes for that section without the quick checks. Got it? So if you want to see sort of like how I did the example above it, if you want to, sometimes you need to see it, go ahead, click on the lecture question itself, the assignment for the lecture questions, and the lecture video for it will be in there. Okay. Okay. I think that is it in terms of questions. If there's any other questions, I do check my email every Tuesday, Thursday from 8 to 10. Like I said, that's the dedicated time for this class. If you have any questions, email through Insight. I think best way, though, is email through Canvas. That way you have the proof, too, that you sent it to me. My Insight email, my campus email, tends to get buried by about 12 o'clock. So I think Canvas is much better. It's much more direct, at least for you and me. So just keep that in mind. Okay. Besides that, if there are any questions, let me know. I'll try to make another video like this next week. And I'll see you guys around.